What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Gmia, and today we're going to be doing the recap of Week 1 of the NFL 2017. We're going to jump right into it with the Steelers and the Browns. I'm going to tell you this right now. This dude, Kaiser, I like his upside. I like his upside much more than anybody else that was there and got released, like Osweiler or anybody else that's on the field. They played the Steelers very, very tough. Obviously, the score was a lot. It was a lot more in hand, but towards the end, they were able to, score in garbage time and stuff like that. Antonio Brown did what he's supposed to do. He got targeted 11 times and got 11 catches. One of those catches was ridiculous, though. It looked like the ball kind of went through the other guy's body, but that's neither here nor there. Antonio Brown is going to be Antonio Brown. Now, let's go to the real Browns. And by the way, Big Ben Roethlisberger, he looked like a fat soccer dad in his post-game interview. I just wanted to add that in there. I was like, why does he look like that? This probably is his last year or something. He got to go sit down someplace, have a couple beers, and just relax and just be done. But he did play well. Okay, now for the Browns, Hugh Jackson. I don't know if it's fair to say that he should be fired, but I don't know what it is about his face. I don't think that he motivates the team enough. It's just something about certain coaches where it's just like, what are you doing? He reminds me of like Todd Bowles. Like, he just stands there and just looks ridiculous. Does that make any sense? I don't know. He just disgusted me the whole time that I watched it. It's nothing against the guy. It's just that, like, look, I want to see like more motivation. I don't know what that is. I can't really explain it, but yeah, let's see what happens with that guy. I don't think he'll be there much longer. Cardinals and the Lions. Carson Palmer sucks. I've been telling you guys this. I've been telling you guys since when he was with the Bengals, when he had T.J. Who's Your Mama and Chad Ochocinco. That guy is one of the worst quarterbacks ever. And it's not even, listen, the dude he will throw a pick. The game started off pretty good, but David Johnson going out of the game with that wrist injury really caused a lot of issues for the Cardinals. I didn't expect them to be that bad, and I did pick them to win against the Lions. So it was a very, very rough showing. As far as I know, that people with fantasy was probably like, David Johnson, I don't care if your lungs don't work, get out there. But it happened. It's over. But at the end of the day, you can't rely on Carson Palmer. And he's a guy, I think he won a Heisman. And a lot of guys win Heismans don't really go on to do much in the NFL, but he's a really, really bad quarterback. And I think it's about that time for the Cardinals to move away from him. I thought this years ago that they should have moved away from him for a long time ago, but it is what it is. As far as the Lions go, Matthew Stafford started off very, very poorly. I think did he throw a pick six? I know he threw a wild interception, but then he just came back and just started throwing hot ones. And it showed why he got the contract, $135 million? Even though he's like the best quarterback in the league, obviously, I guess he's a guy that's formidable. You can't win without a decent quarterback, and that's what we're seeing every week in the NFL. So congratulations to the Lions on a huge win, and Carson Palmer, you suck. Going right to the Jaguars and the Texans. Let me tell you what happened with this, right? Bill O'Brien is a clown, and he has a butt chin, and he was acting like a butthead. That's pretty much the summation of this game, because look, you know that in the preseason and in practice that Deshaun Watson was a lot better than Tom Savage. And I don't care about what DeAndre Hopkins says. DeAndre Hopkins supporting Tom Savage, that's like Brandon Marshall supporting, the other guy. What's his name? I forgot his name. Jay Cutler. You know what I'm saying? Like, that the receivers that are used to who's there is going to support whoever's there. That's not my issue. My issue is the head coach has to make the best decision for that team to win. And that's not what happened. And it was very, very disgusting what happened throughout the game. J.J. Watt got hurt. Bone went through the skin with his finger. I loved his post-game conference. But the Jags played unbelievably well. They had, double-digit sacks. They were just an outrageous team. And that's despite having Blake Bortles at quarterback. You didn't even have to do anything with the way the defense was playing. Obviously, Tom Savage was benched, and you eventually put in, Deshaun Watson. But you can't. It's just, look, Bill O'Brien is a loser. All right? I'm just going to say that like that. Like, I don't have time to really play around with it. He's never really been that guy. He's not going to be that guy. He's just the guy from the spawn of, Bill Belichick. Another one of the coaches that'll never be anything without Bill Belichick. That's just my gut opinion about it. Because he's a joke. He should have. Tom Savage played so poorly, he should have been pulled ASAP, and given this kid a chance, because Watson is going to be special in this league. I can guarantee you that much. So, either way, I blame Bill O'Brien. Listen, Bill O'Brien is the biggest loser in this one, and I'm not talking about weight loss. Raiders and the Titans. Oh my goodness, how good did it look? Yeah, it felt so good to see Marshawn Lynch out there. You know what I'm saying? This is a guy that, put his heart and soul when he was with the Seahawks, and then they disrespected him on the 1 yard line, threw a pick to Malcolm Butler, and we know whatever happened after that. We know history, what it went with that, but it was good for him to be able to play again. This guy solidified the win. And what I mean by that is when the game needed to be in hand, they gave the ball to Marshawn Lynch. And when I say this guy was running over people, he was literally running over people to end the game. Like, he was just, bruh, it was really beast mode. And he's only going to get better. And this is with a year off from football. See, that's what people don't understand. When you take a year off from anything, you're not supposed to come back and be the same player. He was able to do that. People need to understand that and stop running off at the mouth. I saw a lot of people, oh, yeah, he lost a step. Are you serious? Anybody that was in front of him was getting trucked. So I don't know what you're talking about, lost a step, this and that. You guys need to calm down with all that. Okay, because the dude came out there and he did what he was supposed to do. The Titans look like the Titans. You know, Marcus Mariota, he was Marcus Mariota. He's going to give you a certain amount of yards, give you a rush TD. That's pretty much it. Run game wasn't really what it was supposed to be. You know, we did get a signing of Corey Davis, but it wasn't really spectacular. I don't think anybody really expects the Titans to go back, or even make the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I'm looking at the team. I'm like, they got a decent offensive line. Mariota looks like he might be coming of age. We broke a lot of tackles when the rush came in. I don't know what's going on with that. O-line is supposed to be so good like that, but he was Marcus Mariota. It was the Titans. Like that's pretty much what it is. I'm not expecting anything from the Titans. So this was supposed to happen, and I did pick the Raiders to win. Eagles and the Redskins. Yo, you like that? Yo, Kirk Cousins, you're a bum, dog. And this is why. Listen. This is why they won't sign him long term. He has that kind of nonchalant feel about losing that I just don't really understand. It's kind of weird to me. And they did try to turn it up later on in the game. Obviously, the fumble for 6 ended the game with Kirk Cousins. But, all in all, I don't know if I can really be mad at the Redskins organization with what Kirk Cousins is capable of doing in a bad way. If that makes any sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, certain guys are going to get signed for ridiculous deals. Like, I think that people will rather sign a guy that acts like he cares, like a Brock Osweiler that acts like he cares, and then goes out there and plays that total crap, rather than sign somebody like Kirk Cousins. Because you can see, like, with his emotions when he did that, even Aaron Rodgers got upset when he threw a pick. Because he don't often throw them, but you need some emotion out of your guys. You need to be able to see that they care. I don't know about that. But the Carson Wentz, listen, man, people are saying this might be the year for him to explode. It might just turn out to be that. I'm going to say it might just turn out to be that, man. The dude is very, very special. LeGarrette Blount adds a different dimension in the red zone with this team. The Eagles are going to be scary, especially with what happened with the Cowboys and the Giants. We know now that the NFC East is going to be a ride like the way it always is. So it was a very, very good game. And Carson Wentz, man, he looks really, really good. Ravens and the Bengals. I need Marvin Lewis to be fired, and I don't know. See, I don't know what else I can really say to help the situation continue to get passed through, because he's one of the worst head coaches I've ever seen in my life, and I don't understand what he's doing, why he's doing it. But the dude is a clown, and it reflects on the field with the players. It reflects on the field with everybody that has anything to do with the organization, because he walks around with his face looking like he has an itch in his butt cheeks and he can't really scratch it, and it affects the team negatively. And this is what I'm saying. If the guy that you look to looks like Marvin Lewis, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to be able to encourage people, because your image is a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter about in my opinion, like I said, I've had different coaches regardless of the color or whatever like that. It's about the presence. It's about what they bring. And I don't think he brings anything, bro. He doesn't bring anything but losing. That's all he brings. And if you have a coach that only brings losing, this is what's going to happen. How do you open up with 0 points? How do you score 0 points? Like, I need somebody to tell me, how are you a professional football team and you score 0 points? Like, you really went home to your family and said, yo, hey, babe, we scored 100 points today. Hey, get me a hot one on the rocks. Hey, like, this is really bad. And I just want people to understand that Marvin Lewis, this should be his last year. Ravens look good. Flacco made some Flacco-type throws, like Fluco-type things, like Skip Bayless would say. But at the end, Terrell Suggs looked like he's the ageless wonder. The defense played well. Bryant, Brandon Used Car, he played pretty well. I'll give credit where it's due. I did not expect him to play that well. He did. It is what it is, man. Congratulations to the Ravens and that organization. And we'll see what happens in the future. But fire Marvin Lewis. That's probably the biggest thing about that. Falcons and the Bears. Now, the Falcons had me scared for a little bit. Obviously, with the way that the Bears played it down the stretch, you cannot be mad at Mike Glennon. Mike Glennon played so well in that 2-minute drill. I'm not even going to say nothing about Trubisky. I'm not saying nothing. I think Mike Glennon played well down the stretch, and 2 open passes that the receivers dropped, well, one to the running back, one to the wide receiver at the end of the game, cost them that game. Falcons were able to win this game miraculously. I don't know how they did it. I can't comment on it, but I did have them picked to win. But it's going to be a very, very rough year in the NFC. What is it? Where are they at? The NFC South? It's going to be a very rough year because if they can't take care of the Bears like they should have, and that dude Cohen, who was that rookie Cohen, bro, the running back? Forget about Jordan Howard. Cohen brings an electrifying. He just makes the game so much. Yo, it was more exciting for me to watch the Bears, and I don't really watch the Bears, bro, but he was very exciting to watch. So kudos to them. Jets and the Bills. The Bills suck. The Jets suck. So I wasn't expecting much out of this game. I was expecting Todd Bowles to probably get fired during the actual game because you know what's going to happen. The Jets are not expected to win any games, right? But they're gonna win. I don't think they're as bad as the Lions that year. That they're gonna go 0-16. They're gonna find some way to win a game. But it was funny that the Bills are number 1 in the NFC East. You know what I'm saying? With the Patriots, they're 0-1. But we all know how that's gonna end. You know, Tom Brady's gonna go back on top. They'll probably finish off like 14-2. But that's neither here nor there. The bottom line is the Jets. They weren't as bad. Honestly, they weren't as bad as I thought. I thought they were gonna be a lot worse. They went out there and they played defense. And they did what they could do on offense to the best of their ability. LaShawn McCoy was decent. Tyrod Taylor was decent. They made some plays. They did a lot of things that, you know, you could be like, all right, we got some hope there, but you really don't, though. You know what I'm saying? Like the Bills and the Jets, look, don't even worry about neither one of these teams are going to the playoffs. Don't worry about them. They're going to be all right, bro. Just, it was a game that we just had to watch. It was on. And like I said, for me to be able to look at every game, I'm flipping back and forth through channels. I'm looking at replays so I can give you guys the best recap. And this game was probably more boring than the Ravens and the Bengals because it was just like both the teams suck. Like, but not the Bengals and the Ravens really sucking because those are better teams. But these teams sucked. It was just like the way that it was going back and forth. It was real stupid. You know, jumping onto the final games, the Colts and the Rams. Obviously, the first thing that I was thinking about, I want to know if any one of you guys or girls that watch this, when I say guys, I'm referring to girls and guys. But did anybody think about the fact that the Colts were always winning regardless when Peyton Manning was there? And how easy it looked. And as soon as Peyton Manning left, regardless if it's luck, this idiot that was out there, whatever his name is, that was out there just throwing pick sixes. Do you guys realize how much Peyton Manning meant to the Colts? Because that's all I was thinking about. Because the Rams were horrible last year. They averaged 14 points. And they start the year off with 46. You know what that means with the Colts as far as that goes? People are getting fired. Okay? And when you talk about greatness, that's one of the things you have to talk about with Peyton Manning. The guy consistently won. It's a bad division, but he did his job, and he won. You can't replace Peyton Manning, bro. And Andrew Luck is so far away from that. And I know it seems like it's bad to put a guy in like a Hall of Famer's shoes, but you're there to fill it. That's, you know, you guys fired Peyton. He went on to win another Super Bowl, and this is what you're gonna get from the Colts, man. But the Rams look good. I can't get mad about the fact that, you know, they played the Colts. You only could play who's in front of you. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, as far as Goff goes, he made some really good throws. He looks a lot better than he did last year. So that's some stuff that I can't wait to look. I want to see how he does against a real team. That's pretty much where I am. But that game was disgusting. You know what I'm saying? Tavon Austin at running back doing whatever he wants. It was really, really wild. So we're never going to go into that, you know, go into the game too much. The bottom line is both these teams suck, and neither one of them I expect them to do anything. But don't worry about that. Seahawks and the Packers, this was a hell game, bro. This game right here, I didn't know what was going on for like it was 3-0 at the half or something like that. Like, it was a very, very tough game, and then all of a sudden, the Seahawks started playing like rookies. How do you have that many men on the field and try to make a substitution, and then they get dotted by Jordy Nelson on the post route? Like, those kind of things are not supposed to happen with the Legion of Boom. I don't know what's going on with the Seahawks, man, but I will tell you this about Russell Wilson. I can see why in the offseason the defense hates him. Look, the guy is good. He won a Super Bowl. All that stuff, that's great. You know what I'm saying? They probably believed in him too much, which is why Marshawn Lynch left, because they called the passing play on the 1 yard line. We already know that with beast mode in the backfield. But the defense hates him. And it shows on the field. And I think that they're going through a lot of turmoil, and I think that they're not the same team. You know, they're just not the same team. I don't think they're comfortable with Russell Wilson being their quarterback. And then getting back to Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers threw a pick six. That block in the back garbage, you know what I'm saying? And then they eject the other dude, the cornerback from the Seahawks on a thing. I didn't even think he threw a punch. I kept looking back at it trying to see it. The dude Lane, I couldn't really see the punch, but he got ejected for it. And that kind of changed the game for the Seahawks because Jeremy Lane, that's a huge part of their defense. But again, when you're looking at your offense and Russell Wilson is playing so poorly, the Packers defense was good. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't really buy into the fact that Clay Matthews is back and all that stuff like that. I'm just saying the defense was good, but they weren't that good to where they couldn't do anything. But that's what you got. You got nothing. You got field goals. You're not going to win in the National Football League with field goals. Panthers and the 49ers. 49ers, man, let me just say this. I don't really know what's going to happen. They lost their first-round rookie, man, the linebacker, the 49ers. That was so hard for me to watch him go off on the cart. I really hope that he's going to be okay. Because I think he's going to be a really, really great player. Very, very fast, very, very strong, big dude. I can't remember his name right now, but you guys know what I'm talking about. When he got caught up, that was a change in the game. Cam Newton showed that he's one of the most inaccurate passers in the National Football League. I really don't understand what's going on with him, but I can't really say the Panthers are going to be a problem because Cam Newton still can't throw the ball. He's very, very inaccurate, and it's disgusting. But they were able to win and do what they had to do. He got some passes, and that's it. It's not more or less the 49ers fought as hard as they could. They just didn't have the firepower, and then they lost their rookie star linebacker. That's pretty much what I have for this game. Very, very depressing that Cam Newton can't throw a football and that he was injured. The Giants and the Cowboys. The Giants have to pay OBJ whatever he wants. This offense does not do anything without attention to OBJ. They suck. They are one of the worst teams in the National Football League when OBJ does not play, and I don't want to hear nothing about it. You only are worth what you are on the team that you're on. And on this team, OBJ is worth everything. Because the Cowboys came out, Zeke is freaking feeding himself. Dak is running around. At the beginning, Dak was very inaccurate also. But he made good throws when it was time for throws to be made. Jack Rabbit really did lock up Des Bryant. He got that pass interference and stuff like that I didn't think was pass interference because he got his head around and stuff like that. But it is what it is as far as that goes. But let me just say this. The Cowboys beating the Giants, even without OBJ, whatever like that, and starting off 1-0 is a major problem for the NFC East because this puts them in the driver's seat, and all they really need to do now is cruise. That's all they have to do. They just have to cruise. They're on cruise control right now because with that O-line, Zeke being able to play indefinitely with the block on the suspension with the Texas judge, it's going to be a problem in the NFC East with the Cowboys. I'm just letting you guys know that right now. So as far as the entire first week goes, I'll be back tomorrow with the Monday night games, and we'll continue to go. I want to thank everybody for joining me. If you're coming over from GmiasWorld, welcome. Make sure you sub here. All my recaps for all sports will be done on this channel, uncut, unfiltered, with my brutally honest opinion. But I'm going to tell you this right now. The Cowboys are going to go to the playoffs now based on what I'm seeing. As long as nobody gets hurt, that's needed, Zeke or Dak. Let me know what you're thinking if you enjoyed the recap. See you guys and girls later. One love.